Alright guys and gals, this is North here. It is still Saturday, October the 2nd, 2021. And we are harvesting potatoes today. Excuse me, and showing you more gardening mistakes, okay? Now, you see these plastic totes here? This is what I planted my potatoes in this year. See the sort of greenish one there, and the blue one right here. We're going to harvest this blue one here right now. But a lot of you guys and gals know that last year I planted my potatoes in these buckets here. You can see the holes for drainage in the bottom, and just a regular old 5-gallon bucket I drilled some holes in. And I grew potatoes there with limited success. Success, but limited. It mostly provided seed potatoes for me for this year, okay? Now this bucket right here, this is a tote. I changed up to these totes this year. And this particular tote, I planted 3 potatoes in. 3 potatoes only. They were larger potatoes, but we'll see what the result is, okay? Now the first thing that I did was I took one of my handy dandy garden machete slash knives, and if you can see right here, I went around and I chopped off all the plants, okay? I chopped off all the plants. Now the plants were grown out from the container by 4 or 5 feet. You can see, I'm not sure, I'll pick up a piece right now if it will allow me to do so and show you. Okay, look at how long these are, okay? I'm 5'8", and these are about 5 feet tall, these plants. So they're grown out 5 or more feet from the container itself. So that's the first thing you do, is you chop all your plants out of the way. You want to leave 8 or 10 inches of the plant left intact, just to give you a handle to pull on, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set you down, get the camera set up, adjusted in a way so hopefully the wind won't be bothering us, and it'll pick up what we got going on here. So let me just adjust the monitor here. Maybe see if we can get a bit of a zoom going on. That's the other way. That's the wrong way. Here we go. Okay, so we got that. So let me just get this this plant debris out of the way, and we'll get right to it, okay? Like, look at all this plant debris made from 3 potatoes. So hopefully we'll have a successful harvest here. Like I said, use your garden knife, machete, chop off the plants. And what I'm going to show you is, this is going to be mistake number 1. Okay. And this is a big mistake, okay? So I'm making the mistakes so that you guys don't have to. Now, maybe you can see right there. Let me get this out of the way. Maybe you can see right there, we got potatoes poking their heads out the top of the dirt. Now, typically when you plant potatoes, you plant them, let them grow, and as soon as the plants are, you know, a good piece over the top of the container, you'll top those up with soil again. Now, I found somebody else's recommendation this year that I tried that said, oh, they just put their potatoes in a container, top them up real good with soil, and they do it just once. They don't top them up again at all after they've been planted. So I went with that method, and I'm going to say that that's a mistake. However, I can see by the size of these potatoes that this is a success, because these are much bigger potatoes than what I grew in the buckets last year. Now I'm going to set you back down, get the camera readjusted. Let me see here. We're going to tilt that bucket over and see what we get for potatoes, okay? Just see if switch that camera around so I can see it. That should work. Let me see if I can see what I'm doing here. Oh, that's heavy. That's heavy. I'm just going to give it a shake. Look at that. Already got a nice, beautiful red potato there. Now, was it exposed to sun? Yes, it was. And if they are exposed to the sun, oftentimes it'll turn them green. If they're green, you don't want to eat them, okay? Now, you can see probably right here, it also grew a little chit on it, a little eye. That's okay. Looks like something's been eating at this one here too. So, we're going to throw it in the bucket and we'll take it inside after and we'll get them cleaned up and see what we can make out of them, okay? Right here, here's the reason you want to leave these stems intact, okay? So you can just use them as a nice little beauty for roasting right there. Look at all the potatoes in there. Another beauty right there, mid-sized. Look at the potatoes in here. Goodness gracious. That is absolutely gorgeous. Look at them in here. Wow. These are the biggest potatoes I ever grown in containers. So I'm going to call that a success, but I've showed you the mistake. Make sure you top up your potatoes. Your potato buckets or containers once the plants come on top of the grow up above the edge of the bucket. It is a mistake to not top them up, in my opinion. But this is great. Look at the size of these beauties. That's awesome. That right there, if I had that on my dinner plate, I'm not sure if I'd eat the whole thing. Mind you, some folks will have a bigger appetite than others, and that's quite all right. But you can see from having planted 3 potatoes, I'll just show you. Now, people say you harvest your potatoes once the plant has fallen over and turned yellow. But you saw from the plants I showed you earlier, like these had all fallen over. But that's just because they were so tall and long they couldn't support themselves. So they just fell over the sides of the bucket. All right? The time to harvest your potatoes is when they're when the plant itself falls over and starts to turn yellow. Okay, now that's the seed potato right there. Wow, look at this harvest. This is great. Awesome. This is fantastic. All right, I'm enjoying this method much better than the bucket method. Growing in these totes, much more success. So, this is just a heads up for anyone who's growing potatoes in the ground, or if you're in a urban area, you don't have a place, any soil to do it in. You can grow it in these totes easily. Look at that beauty. There's a nice little double tagger there. We've had 3 or 4 of those, and I'm only at the top of one side of this bucket here right now. That one there is a little bit misshapen or whatever, but I don't care. It'll taste just the same. Look at that beauty. This is gorgeous. Absolutely wonderful harvest out of this one little tote. One little tote. Just give it a little shake here. Loosen things up a wee bit. See what else we can come up with, okay? Now I'm starting to see some more potatoes. This is why you leave the stems on, so you can grab them and give them a little shake. Okay? Look at all those potatoes. Another nice medium-sized beauty there. Ugh. Good. It's gracious. Awesome. I'm loving this. Loving it. Holy smokes. Little ones. All kinds of little ones. Little tiny medium, baby ones coming in. Look at that right there. Look at this. Not sure if you can see that or not. Let me just see if I can adjust that camera down a wee bit. Look at this, what I just pulled off of these 2 little stems here. Beautiful. Beautiful. Wow. I think that's the biggest potato I ever grew. Absolutely awesome. Here's the seed potato. Don't stick your finger in there, it's all mush. At least this one is. Alright, my legs are starting to hurt here. Oh, yeah, that's the seed potato. That's a mushy one. You don't want that. Shake them all out. Oh, there's another one. Beautiful. Oh, stretch my legs a bit. Beautiful, beautiful little mid-sized potato. All right. Let me keep at this here. Oh, look at that dandy. Absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous. Wow. Go through this soil a little bit. Make sure I'm not missing a whole lot. Now there may still be some down in the bottom portion here. I'm not sure. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Here we go. Look at that. There we are. Look at that, will ya? Wow. I'm amazed by this one little toad. Oh, I see some more. I see some more. All right, now part of having your potatoes harvest well is have some good soil. Have a good mix of compost, decent composted soil, organic material, and I use bone meal on my potatoes. Other than that, water. I had to water my potatoes for about the first week or so they were in the ground. But the way the weather went, Mother Nature took over. I didn't have to do any more. I think that's going to be the last potato out of that particular toad. Wow, that's doing my back. Holy daddy. All right. So, let me just pick you guys and gals up again here. Have a little look-see. All right. Now there you can see we got about half a 5-gallon bucket. There goes a little mole. We got about a half a 5-gallon bucket out of 3 potatoes. I'm gonna have to say that that's my most successful potato harvest as yet. So with the failures of not having topped these totes off, I'm still gonna consider this a success, but don't make that garden mistake of not topping up your the soil on your potatoes. Make sure you have good soil, and throughout the season I use a little Epsom salt and a little bit of bone meal. And look at that lovely harvest off of 3 potatoes. So I hope you guys and gals give this a try in totes. If those of you are thinking about trying it in totes, please go ahead. Try and follow those instructions, and hopefully you'll have the similar success like I have. Those are going to be delicious. I'll be taking those over to Mom and Pop's next weekend for Thanksgiving. So with that, guys and gals, try not to make your garden mistakes. I'm making them for you. This is going to be North. Out for now.